there. Welcome back. My name is Dean, and Lochlin, what time is it? You know the time? Are we on time? Are we on time
we're
today?
not. We're 5 minutes late.
We're on time.
Yeah.
So we're on time is what you're saying.
For us, we are relatively on time. Yes.
Like super on time. Usually it's 3:11, 3:15. Folks, if you're just joining us, my name is Dean. This is the Dean Blundell Show. That is my friend Lochlin Cross, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton, brought to you by our friends at Kivlaw Defense Lawyers. If you're looking for a great lawyer and you want to get your life back and you've been charged with something, civil claims, wrongdoing, you got real estate brokerage issues, you got impaired driving issues, civil litigation, kivlaw.ca, brought to you by our friends at kivlaw.ca. You don't need him. He's in Ottawa, but he's in Toronto. Actually, but I will say this, is that we started today at 3:05, usually every day at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the city, Toronto. Lochlin is in beautiful downtown Edmonton, Alberta, actually just outside Edmonton. St. Albert, nice bedroom community towards the eastern part of the province.
Very safe.
Western part of the province, sorry. And Lochlin and I have a good laugh on a daily basis, but it's true. I can never start on time. If I start on time, it stresses me out. If I go anywhere on time, we've dug into this before. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I think it's because I'm fucked in the head, to be honest with you. Like if you wanted an honest, I can't start anything on time. If I get an invite and they're like, be here at 7 sharp. I'm like, no way I'm going at 7 sharp. I'm not going at 7 sharp. That's 7 sharp. All I feel like those words jump off the page and they go, you better be there on time or else. And instantly I get triggered. I don't know why.
You know, I think I know you, and not that I'm a psychiatrist and not that I am equipped to diagnose you with anything, but I have known you long enough to have picked up on some of your
stupidity.
Ego,
yeah. Is it? But is it an ego thing when you just don't want to start something on time? Is that a control issue? Is that my way of wrestling control back? Is that what that is? I know, and you're not a psychiatrist. I know that. But
no. But I think you do have a touch of narcissistic tendencies. You do, and I think that's part of it. And again, I applaud this because I have won. I've known you.
Yes.
Before I knew of you and knew enough about you to have formulated a strong opinion about who you were as an individual based on me listening to your past radio show. And then getting to know you over the last year and a half or so, getting to know you very well.
Yes.
I have had to reshape that former opinion of you. Right. And I know
because it was the old public persona of me that you didn't know. You just thought I was a hard ass, crazy radio dude who went hard. And then you find out, no, he's just fucked in the head and can never start anything on time because he hates being told what to do. Is that what you're saying?
Well, and again, all I'm saying is I think you have gone through a number of things in your life in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years that have changed you, and now you're this very different version of what you may have been in the past. But I think you have hung on to some of that stuff from your past, little things. And I've applauded it. You yourself have talked about Dean 2.0 and the original Dean Blundell, and sometimes every once in a while you revert back to a little bit of Dean, and I've said you need to keep some of that old Dean alive in you.
So is this old Dean that can't start the show on time because he hates being told what to do?
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Yes. Right. So now I'm schizophrenic. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's okay. I think it's fine. Again, like I've told you, you can't completely abolish the elements of what made you interesting and successful from your past life, even if it might not necessarily be the best version of you.
Yeah, but showing up to something on time should be relatively simple, right? Like showing up to something on time, starting your own show on time. When you're advertising, hey, everybody, we start every day at 3-ish. I make our guys put the ish after the 3 because in my heart, I'm like, and this is the truth. It's not even like I'm lazy or I'm scatterbrained or don't know and I don't want to promise. I'm like, no, I never want someone to tell me that I'm late for something. And so I want to reserve the right to be able to show up when I want and have that be on time. That's fucked. Even I recognize it. We talk a lot about self-awareness here on the program, a lot about self-awareness. And if you don't know where your problems are, you're never going to get over your problems. This is not a problem to me right now because I get to decide when shit starts. But let's say if someone says to me, Dean, we need you to come on and do a radio show for a couple hours today, there's no way I can start it on time. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with someone about helping them out with some programming. They're like, would you be able to do it from this time to this time? I'm like, probably not. And they said to me, why not? And I'm like, I just can't start on time. I don't think it's fucking... Dude, it's literally messed up. I'm one fucked up human being when it comes to that. Everything else, I'm trying to get into focus. Life is a fucking work of art. We're all trainees in this world, right? And I get that. But my God, and when someone says to me, we're starting a meeting at 3:00, I'm like, clearly we're not.
We all troll you here on the Dean Blundell show when you're not around, and the odd time we've done this without you.
Mm-hmm.
We troll you by starting right on time. And it's an open discussion.
And it makes me, dude, it makes my hands sweaty that you do that.
We're going to start at 3. And I said, and we're going to fuck with Dean. We're actually going to start right at 3. Okay, guys? And they're like, yes, that's a great idea. They're in. They love it.
Dude, there's something wrong with me. I mean, I know there is, and I know there's lots of fine tuning that comes with getting better at life each and every day. And that's something I need to fix because, dude, I showed up to a meeting 3 minutes late today, like a Zoom meeting. And everybody that was waiting for me in the Zoom meeting asked me if I was late for the same reasons I'm normally late. And you know what? I didn't apologize. What I said was yes. And I said, can we get moving?
Come on, guys. I'm not.
Guys, you've wasted 3. Yeah, I got 5 minutes here. They're like, you wasted 3 of ours. I'm like, yeah, waste not, want not. I'm in charge of this mess.
I do appreciate that. You said something last week, too, that just kind of made me laugh out loud because I'm a lot like this as well. Because I have been angry for years about being forced by society to do things I didn't want to do.
Societal norms. Yeah.
Loved smoking. I told my wife years ago when she spent the first 7 or 8 years trying to mold her into the idea of what she had when she was a kid about what a husband would be. Then, and this is a normal process for most marriages and relationships, at about the 8, 9, 10 year mark, they usually throw in the towel and they either give up and move on, or they just give up and continue on with the relationship, right? You can wear them down, man. Okay. Now, I did tell her after we were realizing we were at that point in our relationship where she was going to have to give up trying to change me and that I wasn't going to change anyway. And I told her, I said, the best thing that you can do if you want me to do something is to never bring it up.
Right.
Because if you bring up, I should quit smoking, I'm going to go another 6 months.
Or I'm going to double it down and do 2 packs a day. Right. It's like when someone have you
bugging me and I quit. I ended up quitting. It took
because you didn't have someone telling you what to do. You're just like me that way. You're just like me that way, right? When someone's like, you should really make this life change. I'm like, not a fucking chance. Now I'm going to do more of the thing you told me I shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
I did that with booze. I did that with food. Like I remember one time my ex was like, why did you eat like 4 donuts last night? You shouldn't eat 4 donuts before you go to bed. And I'm like, now I'm having 5. And I'm doing that tonight just because I hate being told what to do. I don't know what it is, but it clearly isn't right. Maybe it's oppositional defiance syndrome. Maybe it's just pure idiocy. I have no idea. Maybe it's selfishness. Maybe it's a control issue. But it really germinates when someone says, can you show up at 4? And I'm like, now I can't. Not doing it.
I've been
not doing it when you tell me that I have to do
life forever too. I told you when we get told we can't use a word, we go on the next day and we do a memorial service with Pastor Jimmy, and we use the word in that service about 10 times. We just had to say goodbye. What did we say goodbye to?
Douchebag?
Gang bang. No, it wasn't douchebag.
You're allowed to say gangbang on the air?
Anal. No, we're not allowed anymore. We had to, but we do have we had to give a little service. Pastor Jimmy writes up a little service when we have to say goodbye to words.
This is goodbye to the letter gang, the word gangbang.
Yeah, gangbang.
It's a tough one, dude. They did that with me when I was on the radio. They're like, I got a phone call. My boss is like, I got like 28 complaints. You're not allowed to say the word douche or douchebag anymore. I'm like, let me see those complaints. He goes, I'll show them to you when you come upstairs. Go upstairs. Can I see the complaints? He's like, I deleted them all. I go, so you didn't get any complaints? He goes, no. I go, I'll be right back. Stay right here. I'm going to go get my manager and we'll talk about you lying about these complaints. And we came back and we went into his office and he had disappeared. And when I thought maybe he took off, I go, well, I'll come back and I'll wait. So about 5 minutes later, I see him peek his head out from underneath his desk. He was legitimately hiding my program director from me because he made up a lie about someone saying the word douchebag and telling me not to say it because he just didn't like it anymore. Didn't like the word.
I remember the word. It was finger blasting.
That's not one word. That's 2 words.
It's 2 words, but it was an expression.
Is it hyphenated?
We're not allowed to use the word anal bleeding or rectal bleeding anymore either. Was another one that we were told to stop using on the air.
That one I get. Anyway, welcome to the program. My name is Dean. That is Lochlin.
It sounds awful when you hear yourself saying things out loud, like telling your wife to stop bugging you about smoking, and you might actually be successful at smoking. Like, I realize how immature and how absolutely asinine it sounds when it comes out of my mouth. But I was just being honest with her. I wanted to quit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do it, like you said, start smoking 2 packs a day because she was trying to get me to quit. I love my wife too.
Yeah.
And I want to make her happy. I can't explain it.
Yes, you don't have to. I know it. It's a feeling. You can't explain that feeling, that defiant feeling that you get when someone tells you what to do. If you're one of those people that was always told what to do and you fucking hate it, it needs to come from you. Like, your desire to do anything for you has to come from you. And the idea that someone else could feed into your life is a ridiculous notion. Nobody can change you. And I think intrinsically you and I are probably smarter than most. So we get that. So we get the whole pressure thing being an impediment to improvement, as opposed to us saying we're going to get over this impediment on our own because we need to find capability in that. We got to figure this stuff out. When someone tells us what to do, what they're telling us is, we don't like the way that you do shit and there's something wrong with you. And so what we do intrinsically in our own minds, we're like, well, there's something wrong with me. That's all we're hearing. Is there something wrong with you? You didn't show up on time. You smoke too much. You drink too much, all that other stuff. And I get to work with a bunch of different guys on this, and it's always the same thing. It's like everybody else gets to keep being themselves, and I get to keep being me. And I say the same thing to every single person. It's like, no, you got to decide how happy you want your life to be. And if you want your life to be, you'll make better decisions. And that's really what it's all about. And it always comes back to the same thing. And I identify with every guy that says it, that wants to quit drinking or have a better life. It comes back to this. They want to be the captain of it. The second someone tries to co-opt that power in their life, they're like, fuck you, and they explode, which is why we're the way we are. Does that make sense?
Also, to make it sound a little bit less selfish and narcissistic,
yeah,
I'll add this to it as well. I would never, and this is why I think I had such a hard time being a boss as well. I would never even be able to wrap my head around the idea of sitting you down and saying, Dean, we need to talk about your vaping. And you know that eventually it's going to come out that this is not good for you, and it's expensive. Really, why are you doing? Like, I would never,
no,
in a million years,
try to make my life better.
Try to tell you to do something I know you love doing, because you haul on that thing constantly. So why would I
have an oral fixation?
Oral fixation, yes. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why. So why is somebody else telling me how to do something?
Well, because it's a problem for you. When someone says, I want you to stop doing something, that means they have a problem with it, right? If you don't have a problem with it, it's not negatively impacting your life in any way, shape, or form, then everybody else should not have an issue with what you're doing. Unless that issue that you're doing contributes negatively to the community around you, then it's a problem, right? Me vaping on a show isn't a problem, right?
I still probably wouldn't tell you, even if it was having a negative impact on the environment around you. I'd probably still go, that fucking Dean loves that vape.
See, you know how my mind works? You telling me that, now I don't want to vape on the show because you think it's okay that I vape on the show. I go completely the other way. How fucked am I? So fucked. Anyway, welcome to the program.
You're in
Sorry
good
we've been
company.
dicking
You
around
are
for
good
15
company.
minutes. Lots of stuff to get to. Joe Rogan stepped in. It hates Canada. We'll talk about that coming up in a minute. Pierre Poilievre's greasy little fucker showed up to Ottawa today, so we'll talk about that. We'll also get to Mr.Tizz. Mr.Tizz found Caryma's attacker days before the police could. This guy lives in the States too, and he put it in a nice little package. So we'll introduce you to the guy that went after Caryma as well. But I want to start with a sad story out of Edmonton. Auston Matthews was named the NHL MVP by his peers, by writers, and he's three-time award winner last night, took home 3 trophies. I don't know if you've seen this. This guy is incredible. Matthews is the first Maple Leaf in 67 years to claim the Hart Trophy. He's the third player in franchise history to claim NHL MVP honors, following Ted Kennedy in 54-55 and Babe Pratt in 43-44. This is a big deal. Not only is he the league MVP, he won the Hart Memorial Trophy, which is voting by a bunch of different people in media and a bunch of hockey heads, sports donkeys, as Lochlin likes to call them. Matthews finished with 119 first place votes, McDavid with 29. We'll get to that voting in just a second because I know Lochlin has a problem with it. Also, the Bleacher Report wants you to know he's the first player of Mexican descent to win the award. That's a nice thing, right? Might as well woke it up and tell everybody about his cultural heritage. Oh, by the way, he's got Mexican blood. Let's put that up there as an award-winning accomplishment. By the way, he's the first-blooded of Mexican to win the NHL's.
I didn't know that. His mom.
Yeah.
His mom is.
Mom's Mexican. Yeah,
Mexican?
of Mexican descent. You betcha.
Good stuff.
Of Latino descent. This is, of course, Auston posing with what's left of his hairline and the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Memorial Trophy. So happy, so proud. 64 goals last year, record-breaking season, NHL MVP. And he was also named the Ted Lindsay Award winner, which, you know, isn't the same award, but it's voted on by players, peers, guys in the NHLPA. Everybody in the PA got to cast a vote. Who's the best hockey player in the NHL? And the vast majority of players selected Poppy Auston Matthews the first, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Lochlin and I called today. We had a little chat. I was going out for a walk, coming back, walk coming. He's like, hey, and he's like, you won't believe the theory I have on this.
No, I didn't say you won't believe it. I said you're going to enjoy it.
It is unfair. It is bullshit. McDavid is clearly the fucking winner. Then you started making fun of Mouth Merkin Matthews' mustache. Then you called him Pube Boy or something like that. Then you went out like it would. You took this personally. The fact that Connor McDavid can't win this award every year, and the fact that all the hockey writers that matter, all the players that matter, all the players that matter too. NHL, Ted Lindsay, same thing. Every single person that matters in this game went, yep. That's the best player in the NHL, Auston Matthews, and we have receipts. So it's over, dude. It's settled. Auston Matthews this year was the best player in the NHL.
We all knew Auston Matthews was going to win this award this year. If you watch hockey or follow this league at all, you knew that was coming down. Now, here's the thing. First off, I'd like to point out something that made us laugh.
What do you mean, first off? What about congratulations? What about congratulations? First off, congratulations to Auston Matthews for being the first player of Mexican descent to win the NHL MVP award.
The one thing that I've learned about Leaf fans is you don't need to congratulate them.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Otherwise, they get all upset because they're fucking entitled and loaded, by the way.
Okay,
so they need it.
The funniest thing I found this morning was that Ron Jeremy was trending this morning because he looks like Ron Jeremy. Okay, 5 players or 5 people that vote, somebody did the math, didn't even vote McDavid into the top 5. 5 people that get a chance to vote from the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
Yep.
Didn't put him in the top 5.
No.
Okay, that's that. You know what? Listen, and here's the thing. I want people to hear me say this out loud. Auston Matthews is an unbelievable hockey player. He's the second best hockey player in the league.
No, dude, whoa. This award, this trophy he won last night, two of them, Hart and Ted Lindsay, say that that's not true. That Connor McDavid is not the best, that he is the Auston Matthews, categorically, statistically speaking, is the best player in the NHL. Sorry, continue. Number one. Yeah.
So, listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
He is not the best player in the NHL. He has a couple of trophies that he can put on his mantle. And this is why this is why I feel bad for Leaf fans. It's stuff like this. You all know. We all know. Yeah. And you guys all know, and even Auston Matthews knows he's not the best player in the NHL, and he didn't deserve those awards. And he's got to live with that. And I think that's harder. And that's harder than not winning. I think it's harder to win something when you know you didn't deserve it. And that's what you guys have to live with this year. 19 people on this panel have McDavid the fifth best player in the NHL. What this was voter fatigue. Everyone was just sick of McDavid winning these awards.
I will say that is ridiculous. Like, unlike you, I don't look through Maple Leaf blue colored stained glasses, right? I don't see this through the tinge of the Maple Leaf blue. The fact that Auston 19 people voted for Auston to put McDavid down as he's like the fifth best player in the NHL is fucking hilarious to me.
And that's what this is, and that's how Edmonton's looking at this. I love it. I really do. Because all this does is just, okay, first off, the finish that the Oilers had, they finished in the top 4 this year. The finish that they had with the deficiencies they had in their lineup on defense and in the net. And the fact that they got into the top 4 is something to build on if they don't completely fuck it up in the offseason with all their cap issues. Is all this is doing, this is part of it as well. McDavid, he may not admit it, but he looks at this stuff and he goes, 19 people said I was fifth? The fifth player? What? He is going to be on fucking fire this year. This is the best thing that could have happened. I'm glad he didn't win. I am so happy. For me, I'm sad for Leaf fans that you get to spend an entire year
we're crushed
watching McDavid completely destroy everybody in the league. I mean, that's what's going to happen here. Here's the other thing, and I just want we can.
Do you think he's going to go ham? Do you think he's going to make a point? Because I get the impression sometimes. Listen, I'm unlike you. Again, I can look through objective glasses to be able to see this beautiful world. And there are several nights that I watch Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers play where I'm like, if he wanted to, he could just score 7 goals a game. Mm-hmm. If he really wanted to. No one can keep up with him. No one can. Cale Makar did a pretty decent job in that series, actually. Cale Makar, who won the Norris Trophy the other night. He's fucking unbelievable.
Really good team.
Great team. But Connor McDavid looks like if he wanted to, if it wasn't in the best interest of the rest of the team to share the puck, he could probably win this award, the Rocket, the Lindsay, the Hart every year if he wanted to.
But he adjusted his game.
He didn't. Therefore, he's not the best player in the NHL.
But
119 hockey writers said Auston Matthews is the best player in the NHL. 29 said McDavid was the best player in the NHL. Apparently, the ratio and the numbers for the NHLPA vote for the Ted Lindsay was very similar. So, unless I'm missing something,
people are done. They're done with McDavid winning. And again, you said it, right? Like he'll and most people know that this is going to happen. Next year he'll bounce back and he'll win it. But they had to take. Everyone just needed a break from McDavid this year. And Auston had an unbelievable season. And there were numerous things that he did this year that would have put him in a voting contention. But
do you think if he wasn't half Mexican, he would have won the award?
No, I got a point on that. Let me get to the point. I do need to point this out. Okay.
All right.
So moving forward, I think you do have a situation where McDavid, and again, in front of the cameras, he says all the right things. behind the scenes, we all know that somebody that makes that kind of money, that got to where he is in life, doesn't like this, didn't like the final outcome of the year. And if they can put a decent team behind him, he's going to just be out of control this year. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. The thing about McDavid is he's been adjusting his game to win a Stanley Cup. And that's the thing I don't think that the writers are giving him credit for. He needed the rest of the team to come along with him. And he adjusted his game in such a way to get them to where they did this year. And that's the brilliance of this fucking player. Like it's unbelievable. Dude, watching. You're right.
He's great. He's incredible. He's one of the most talented players to ever play the game. Don't disagree with any of that. Will this light a fire under him? Totally. He's not the best player in the NHL this year, though. It's kind of a fucking sad fact. And I mean, listen, if McDavid was in line to win that award, was he at the awards last night, by the way? I didn't see him.
He might be hiding for a reason.
Well,
now, hold on. Before you play that video, because I think this is also good. This is also, he's embarrassed by this, and he's going to try to make up for this by being by working even harder, right? Okay.
You think so? I wonder. So here, let me ask you a question, and don't fucking go full on Edmonton Homer bullshit here. No, don't do that. Do you think? And I know these awards were voted on prior to the video of McWasted, of McDavid in Dallas, Texas, having a great time. I've said this a million times. Don't think that I'm talking down about him. Don't think that I've got a problem with it or I'm judging the young man. I think it's great that he went out and got absolutely silly with his friends.
Sweet.
But do you think this had something to do with it? Him getting 5 fifth-place votes, like some crazy, super moral, religious hockey writer going, that is not an MVP to me.
Place votes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It totally did.
You do?
Yeah, it played a part in it. Okay, now.
That's quite a statement.
I want to make one more statement about McDavid, and then I think we should move on. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And this obviously ties in. Auston Matthews, if you take what he did this year, put him on any other team, Arizona Coyotes, Vancouver Canucks, Winnipeg Jets, New York Rangers, Los Angeles Kings, Auston Matthews, 64 goals, dominated offensively.
And defensively.
How many ever assists? His plus minus, take that exact performance, remove it from the Maple Leafs, put it on another team. He doesn't win those 2 trophies this year. And I know that to be true. All Leaf fans know that to be true.
You know your hypothetical to be true?
Hockey
right?
Knows that to be true. He won that award this year.
You know your hypothetical to be true. Is that correct? Is that what you just said?
Because he's a Toronto Maple Leaf. And then you guys could just sit and stew on that.
All right. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah. That's great. That's so fun. Like we're sad about it because it was a fucking
you should be
charity
sad. You guys
MVP.
You should be embarrassed by the fact that
crushed.
he was awarded it because he's not worthy of it. And that's why I am sad for you, because even when you get something good, even when Leaf fans get something good and something worth celebrating, there's an asterisk on it. And it's too bad. It really is. And you think I'm kidding.
You're the fucking best. You're the fucking best. You can't help yourself. You can't let anybody else have something nice if you didn't get it. That's what you're doing right now. And what you're doing is you're using humor. You're using humor to shit on an entire fan base that, by the way, coincidentally deserves to be shit on a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this fan base. I like the team. Happy for Auston Matthews. I think it's cool that a Leaf finally won the MVP honors after 67 fucking years. It's been dry here for a long time, dude. Dry.
Can I say something about the Leaf fans?
I'm sure you will.
I think, listen, the reason why I love Leaf fans is because I can do this. Sure, there's a faction, but it's in the same, the same percentage in all fan bases. Like, you can go into Buffalo, you can go into Vancouver, you can go into Calgary. It doesn't matter where you go. There's a small percentage of the fan base that just doesn't have a sense of humor. They live and die by the team, and you can't make fun of them. For the most part, I think comparatively speaking,
generally speaking, they all work in sports radio, by the way.
Yeah. Comparatively speaking to other fan bases across the country, the Leafs have some humility, and you can poke some fun at them. That's why I do. You know what?
It's been like 60 years. It's been so fucking long, and they've been shit. So let us have this or not. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
You have got it.
Oh yeah,
enjoy it for what it is.
MVP, best player in the league, Toronto Maple Leaf for the first time in 67 years, categorically, statistically, by his peers, by the hockey writers. It was a good day. Yesterday was a good day for Pappy. Worried about his hairline. Hope he's got some product from Roman. Hopefully he's ordered some Roganish kind of products from Roman. Be ashamed to see that beautiful head of hair go sideways.
That's not a beautiful head of hair.
It is a beautiful head of hair. He's a beautiful man. Leave him alone. Yeah.
He looks
like
Ron
By the way, the hedgehog, he does look like the hedge, doesn't he? By the way, while he was collecting those awards, the NHL's pretty boy was rehabbing from this hangover. There you go.
You know what? Yeah, I hope.
How the tables have turned.
I don't think McDavid will respond to this, but I hope he eats a little bit on this. This is a good thing for him to be dealing with.
For sure it is.
Yeah, it's a good.
Second best player in the league.
I'm glad that that we had a moment. We saw a chink in the armor, right? Because he was a little too perfect.
So switching gears, like to move on from the fact that Auston Matthews is officially the MVP of the NHL and the best player in the league. Do you remember how Caryma got attacked last week? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how she got attacked by that little fucking ferret in the park, and we played the video of it?
Specifically her cameraman too. I mean, I understand that Caryma is the face of that sort of that movement she's created, but her cameraman who chooses to be in the background, behind the scenes and not in front of the camera,
and a lovely guy.
Really
just
nice
a lovely guy. We've had dinner with him. We've gone to baseball games with him and them. Beautiful people, lovely people.
But he ends up being the brunt of some of this, and it's worth mentioning that because I'm glad people were asking, because I saw a lot of response on social media about that video that they put out, and a lot of people did comment, hey, is he okay? Is your cameraman okay? Right. Mm-hmm. Which is good. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think he is. I think everybody's okay. I don't think that there's an issue. I think that Caryma's fine. I think she's going to be taking this legally very seriously, which she should. She got beat up the other day. This dude came out and punched her. We're going to get to the video in just a second. But the reason why I want to play the video is because we found the guy. We know who he is. Well, when I say we, it wasn't me. It was a dude in the States, which I find fucking hilarious. And we'll get to that in just a second as well. But just a quick refresher. Here's the video. If you remember correctly, last week, Caryma got attacked on the weekend.
Hey, you're on the opposite side. You got to do it.
You can't just yell at people in a park.
Yo, what? So what is it, huh? Get out of here.
Yeah, so you remember that. So
Really
Caryma was punched in the head, stole her scooter, beat the shit out of it, hit her with it. She's okay. She's going to be fine. We had her on the show this last week. Well, good news. They found out who that little prick was. And it wasn't
this guy,
the police.
You've seen his videos before.
Yeah, wasn't the police. Yeah, for sure. Wasn't the police, wasn't TPS, even though they had a full report. It was a fella who goes by the name, if you follow him on Twitter, TikTok, at Tizzyent, Tizzyent. When I show you the video of who this guy is, you'll recognize him automatically. Big dude, huge beard. And what he likes to do is combat hatred and these shitty things that people do by telling everybody what they're all about and who these people are. So despite filing a police report, despite getting TPS on this, no one was able to find this kid. This guy did from the United States, from his Twitter/TikTok account. Here's Mr.Tizz with the breakdown of what happened to Caryma. It's fucking unbelievable. Watch this.
So, everyone remembers this turd, right?
So I can treat people like shit, act like a fucking asshole, and they're still going to pay me for their expensive shit. Whether they like it or not, and they got to pay 25% more because they're liberals.
Yeah, that's Josh Bigger, a.k.a. Mr. Freedom. He's a roofer from Ontario who, as you see there, made videos talk about how if you're a liberal, he charges you more. And that didn't go well For him, he's now complaining that his business has been hurt. He was also a very prominent face, though, during the freedom convoys in Canada. And here's the thing. He is a basic, uninteresting white man who really has no talent or nothing to offer. And we've seen this before, where guys like that then go, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll say horrible, offensive things, and that will get me attention. The problem is, if they're slightly successful, they tend to build like a little fan base who then feel empowered by their words and go and take it 3 or 5 or 10 steps further, often becoming violent. Enter Caryma. She's an attorney in Toronto and was very outspoken against the Freedom Convoy. And this weekend, while out enjoying the Kensington Market area of Toronto, this happened. Charming. These men followed her around for a while, until eventually this happened.
Hey, you're on the opposite side.
Opposite side of what? You can't just yell at people in a park.
Yo, wait, what? What is it, huh? So what is it, huh? Get out of here.
Physical assault ended up picking up her scooter and slamming it to the ground, and then while trying to fend him off, someone else stole that scooter. And he did that all in the name of Mr. Freedom. Now, all 5'4" of him ran away and tried deleting all of his social media, but it was too late. Isn't that right, Emmanuel Tamburini of Toronto, Canada? Oh, and to members of law enforcement, if you're looking for him, which you should be, it shouldn't be hard to find his little buddy who was with him. They tend to hang out a lot. I'm not sure what's worse, Mr. Freedom playing make-believe to sell his shitty parody songs, or assholes like this, who take it seriously, and then go out and act on it. Either way, I don't think either of you belong in society.
There you go. There you go, Mr. Tizz. So the dude's name is Emmanuel. Yeah, he gets right to it, doesn't he? The dude's name is Emmanuel Tamburini, and we did a little research into the young ferret. He is exactly what you think he would be. He's one of those hangers-on, one of those losers, one of those angry young dudes who likes to tie his wagon to the same religious extremist, loserific fucking white guys that seem to think that the world is their fucking oyster to shit in. So that's who we have. That's exactly this guy. I mean, it's every one of these guys, isn't it? Like the Emmanuel Tamburinis of the world. And the fact that some dude in the States, some guy in America,
We all call
was able to find out who this guy was before the police could figure it out. And the fact that this guy has not been arrested yet, even though they fucking know exactly who this guy is unreal. I would assume the good people down at the Toronto Police Service, good people down there, would have figured this out before Mr.Tizz could. Like, seriously. Mr.Tizz found out who these guys were and what their motivation was and encapsulated it in a 2-minute video before, I don't know, 100,000 men and women in uniform were able to figure it out. Fucking awesome. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that wild? Fucking wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And you know what? It's fascinating too, because
has anybody sent the police that video, the Mr. Tizzy video?
Probably, but how is that guy able to fucking find this guy before anybody else can? We had his name early. We knew who it was. I know about doxing rules, so I wasn't about to fucking put the guy's name up there until someone else did it, and then you can blame other people. So I'll blame Mr. Tizz. But Mr. Tizz is literally doing God's work. And in the United States, which is where he's from, they have made hacking and this kind of thing legal, ethical hacking, ethical doxing. They've actually made it legal. As long as you don't put up the name of the person and the address with which they reside, or you're able to draw a straight line from A to B so people can find them, you can do that in the United States.
There was some rules, and I think you could have said who the guy was.
I don't think we could have. I think the rules here are a little bit different. And I know social media has their own rules and all that other shit. But yeah, dude, it's full on. Like you can't do that here. It's from my understanding. And I'm uncomfortable doing it too, because I don't want to be the guy that gets arrested for telling everybody where to go find Emmanuel Tamburini. By the way, killer last name. And have something happen to the kid and then, have someone say it was your fault. So I just put someone else's information up there, but it's fucking just this colossal failure of policing when nobody can do anything, and the only guy that can is some dude that makes movies, and he does this shit in his spare time on TikTok. Fucking wild.
Well, the one thing I will say about it that's a little disheartening, even though we all knew that this wasn't going to end up being something the police dealt with. And to be fair, they probably have a lot of things that are very, very important that they're dealing with, and maybe it's low on the priority list. But even if they weren't busy, I doubt highly that that Mr. Tamburini would have gotten a call or you know what? Here's what I predict will happen moving forward. They will go to him and they will sit him down and they'll like knock on his door and they'll go, "Hey, listen, if you see Caryma again, just leave the area. Please don't do us all a favor, because if this takes another step or this escalates, we're going to have to get involved." And I think that may have even already happened. Right?
Best of my knowledge, it hasn't. I talked to Caryma a couple days ago, and she's like, "No, nothing. I have heard nothing from the police. Not a word from them. That could have changed in the last 24, 48 hours. I don't know."
Just want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
But
we knew that was going to happen. But the problem with a lack of effort on files and things like that is that people feel more motivated to go out of their way to do things. So then you're sort of fostering by being less engaged than you should as a police force, as somebody that's supposed to uphold the law. All you're doing is inflaming a potential vigilante kind of behavior, right? Because I think a lot of people saw that video and wanted to help Caryma and do something themselves, right? And that's not
to
good.
That kid. Yeah, exactly.
You're right. And then all of a sudden, if it becomes more and more apparent that the police might not actually do anything to that kid, right? And then we're talking about it and continuing to promote that narrative, then you end up with somebody that might see him at a thing, that might side with what Caryma is going through and feel some sympathy and maybe go over and then beat the living shit out of the guy in the park, you know?
Yeah.
Right? And that's not good either. None of this is good. What he did isn't good. And the vigilante side of it isn't healthy, right? Can you imagine if you're in Ottawa next week for Canada Day, which you're saying you're planning on going, and you saw that tool?
What would I do to him?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, I know, but you've thought about it. When you see that video, you think about the idea.
I don't actually. I don't think about like whooping that kid's ass, even though I would if I had to. I think about his parents, actually. Like, I look at that kid and I look at his fucking goofy ass hand tattoos and his douchebag chin strap beard and his dollar store glasses and fake ice earrings. And I'm like, oh, that guy doesn't have a parent. Like, I think, that guy has nobody to lean on. That guy is just a waste of space. I feel sorry for people like that. I don't want to kick their ass or take them behind the woodshed. In the moment, if I'm there and it strikes me in the moment, would I grab him and drag him somewhere to calm him down a little bit and slap him around until he got it together? Probably. But I don't feel like it's my job to go out and beat the shit out of bad people. I feel like it's my job to carry on with my life, do my thing, and add some value where I can. And this is where we add value to this. Plus, this is, dude, I've known Caryma for a couple of years. She's one of the strongest people I know. I take my cues from her. She fights her own battles, and we amplify the things that happen to her when bad things happen to her. That's our job, right? That's what we do. We try to hold our people. We try to help our people, support our people, and she's our people. We're hers and she's ours. That's how we operate around here. So that's all I think about when it comes to that. And then I go, fuck, it would be really nice if the institutions in this country had some scrotum. If they had some testicular fortitude or intestinal fortitude or vaginal fortitude, whatever gender you want to use to say that this is better than the other, I don't care. This is just a figure of speech. But I will say this is that for the past 2 years, nobody's been held accountable. So people feel like they can just do this shit, right? Which is why I was very interested to see what happened with Caryma when you had a visual of her being physically assaulted finally by some asshole that was in the crowd, some dickhead that was latched onto the crazy parts of this movement, and it actually happened. I was interested to see if law enforcement would actually care. And to date, it doesn't look like they do. And I think that's why we continue to have these problems, to the point where everybody around us knows that we're weak. Like, I don't know if I don't watch Rogan. I don't listen to Rogan. I don't know if you've seen the latest clip that seems to upset everybody. We put a post up at deanblundell.com. Joe Rogan, quote, is disgusted at the fact Canadians
completely change gears. If I saw that kid in Ottawa, even though I'm not good at it, I would have chased him down and tried to beat the shit out of him.
Well,
I know you're trying to take the higher ground, but
no,
I would have felt this overwhelming desire to see just exactly what would happen.
Dude, he would shit his pants. You're a big dude.
Yeah, but I've never been good in that department, and it's never worked out well.
Dude, you don't know what happens when you lose your mind. You have no idea what happens when you flip the script. Plus, you're a big guy and you're fucking strong and you're flexible and you're a yoga master, so you can get out of any kind of headlock.
You could downward dog him. That didn't sound right.
Moving on. As it fits with the narrative of this group of people and where we are today, Joe Rogan said he was disgusted yesterday on his show, the fact that Canadians aren't allowed to buy guns to shoot people. Now, before you go, that's disinformation, let me play you the clip and you can decide for yourself if Joe Rogan, the biggest podcaster on the fucking planet, he is, dude. And if you're going to send us an email or a tweet to info@deanblundell.com, whatever, and you're like, he's more, I get it. I know he makes $100 million a year doing this shit, which is fucking amazing to me because it clearly looks like he's not prepared. I want you to watch this clip where Joe Rogan is literally Googling Canada's defense laws and criminal gun laws based on an interview that Justin Trudeau gave on a podcast the other day, where he legitimately tries to say he cannot believe that we are not allowed to own guns for the express purposes of shooting someone if they come on our lawn. Watch this.
Other than using firearms for sport shooting and hunting, there is no reason anyone in Canada should need guns in their everyday lives. We need less gun violence. This is about freedom. People should be free to go to the super. Okay, but this is not the main thing. The thing that he said that was egregious was he said that they don't have the right to own guns that's not even it either. There's an actual video of it. This is a little bit further longer ago when he was talking about they made a ban on the purchase of handguns, the transfer of handguns, the importing handguns.
So it's funny. So I get a lot of, like, even my legal mentor. This is literally the guy who taught me how to argue, and we go back and forth about this because he thinks I'm too extreme on the issue sometimes. And I think the problem is he doesn't understand that the ultimate goal is for them to ban guns. When I say that out loud, they think I'm crazy. And I'm like, I've been doing this long enough to see where this goes. And look at what's happening in Canada right now. You have someone who is literally, they started off by banning AR-15s, so-called assault weapons. And now all of a sudden, now he's talking about people don't have a right to own a handgun.
I'm trying to find the video. I'm sorry. See if you can find it, Jamie. It was, people were freaking out reading it or watching it because it was just like, it's such a crazy thing to say that you can't have a gun to protect yourself. Yeah. Like, it's just that you do not have the right to own a gun to preserve your life.
But this is the mentality. This is the mentality that our leaders have. Not only in Canada. This is a pervasive thought process in the leaders of our country.
You got that? What do you get out of that? I'd love your thoughts before we rail on how fucking dumb. By the way, that gentleman he was talking to is a guy named, I believe, Coylin Noir. He's a gun rights advocate in the United States.
Yeah, he's had him on multiple times.
I may be fucking up his name, and it's not intentional. But I want your thoughts on what he said. Did you not hear what I heard? Like, he finds it crazy that you can't buy a handgun to shoot somebody in case you feel threatened. Like that. Did you hear that?
But I've said this numerous times, and we've had this.
But did you hear that? Did you hear the same thing I heard? So you heard in your mind, and I'm just asking you your objective opinion, that Joe Rogan finds it really difficult to believe that Canadians are not allowed to own handguns or any guns, prohibited guns, to shoot other people.
If they're protecting themselves, I think, is where Rogan was going with this.
Well, pretty wide
I'm not
brush.
trying to defend him. I'm just saying.
What is the express goal of buying a gun to defend yourself? It is to shoot someone else. Okay, that's what I heard too. Sorry, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt, and then we'll get to some firearms details.
No. I think the point he's trying to make again, and I'll try to do this without seeming like I'm defending him, because it is absolutely asinine that he's having this conversation, in my opinion. He is saying that leaders around the world are taking away your rights to defend yourself if you are a law-abiding citizen. So that's where that's where they always live. That's a quick clip, I'm sure, at some point during that interview. And I've stopped listening to Rogan. I just can't anymore. And if I hear he's got a big guest on, I might tune in, but I usually don't make it very far into it anymore. And I used to listen to him constantly. I've listened to him for years. The problem is there's that mindset in the States, and he's a representation of that mindset, is that you have the right to own firearms. In Canada, it's just different. We don't think that way. We don't. There's a faction of the population. I'm talking about as a whole. There's a faction of the population that is wired like that, and that they think that they're going to take away every gun in the country, right? And then that's the ultimate goal. But it's just different. It's a different mindset, right?
Well, in Canada,
they honestly believe that if they have more guns, there'll be less crime in the States. I hear people say that out loud, and it's crazy. He's in Texas now. He's not far away from a school that just got shot up by a kid with an AR-15, and he killed 20 plus people, 19 or 20 kids, ages 9 and 10. Like, I don't understand how you can have that thought process when you live literally within driving distance of a mass shooting
of children.
Mm-hmm. How you can defend, to me, that just eliminates the conversation about rights and how people get guns and whether or not you should have them. It's over. It's over.
Well, it's over down there for like in terms of what you're talking about. It makes common sense, right? Common sense that if you have less guns, less people will use them for nefarious purposes. If you have a better gun regulation, then you're not going to have as many shootings. We've had 4 mass shootings in this country. In the United States, they've had over 280 this calendar year.
Yeah.
So the proof's in the fucking pudding. However, in terms of what Joe was saying, he not only couldn't have been more wrong about the way Canada works in terms of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, freedom and the ability for people to live peacefully, to live safely, reasonable limitations when it comes to your ability to own things or defend yourself. In Canada, you do not have the right to defend yourself with a gun. You do not have the right. It is not a protected right. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms in the Firearm Act of 1995 says so. It has always been like that. It will always be like that. And what was fucking hilarious to me, and I'll play the start of it again, was how he's going to go on this big tangent about how he can't believe this country doesn't have the exact same laws as the United States of America. Well, he is literally finding that out in the middle of his fucking podcast while he's trying to interview a gun right activist. And then he passes the judgment that he finds it crazy. Dude, you are so fucking ill prepared for this. You didn't have the video you wanted to refer to. You didn't even know Canada has its own rights, Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and it does not have the same gun laws as you, that we've got different societal norms in Canada than we do. And here's a shocker, Joe. Every country has different societal norms and gun laws and regulations. Mm-hmm. All of them different. And you guys are by far the worst. 90% of the gun-related deaths in this world come from your fucking country. So for you to find it crazy that Canada has the ability to keep its citizens safe by enacting real gun regulations for the people in this country, because guns were created for the express purposes of killing humans, killing people.
No, it's for protection.
And so when you say that you want that gun because you think it's important to protect yourself against an armed invader, guess what? In Canada, you've never had that right, to the point where it's actually in the charter. Now, let me put a couple of things up, and maybe you guys can follow along. The general rules. This is the Gun Safety Act. A person is Section 5.1. Let's just get that right out there. Section 5.1 of the Gun Safety Act of 1995. Person is not eligible to hold a license if it is desirable in the interests of the safety of that or any other person. That person does not possess a firearm, crossbow, prohibited weapon, restricted weapon, prohibited device, ammunition, or prohibited ammunition. Here's the criteria for owning a gun.
It's not a right. It's not a human.
New, never has been,
Not a
never will be.
humanitarian issue if you take away our guns, because in the Charter of Rights, we don't have the right to bear arms. It's in their constitution, right?
Section 5.1, it's 5.2. In determining whether a person is eligible to hold a license under subsection 1, a chief firearms officer or a reference under section 34, a provincial court judge, shall have regard to whether the person, A, has been convicted or discharged under section 130 of the criminal code. Have you committed a crime? That gets taken into account. The other thing that gets taken into account, this is number 2, an offense in the commission of which violence against another person was used, threatened, or attempted. If you've threatened or if you've used violence against somebody, they will find out and they will not sell you a gun. You are not allowed to own a gun in this country. An offense under this act of Part 3 of the Criminal Code, an offense under Section 264 of the Criminal Code, if you've harassed somebody, you cannot own a gun in this country. An offense related to the contravention of a couple of different, like if you've been on drugs, if you had a drug issue, if you committed a crime on drugs, you are not allowed to have a gun. If you've been caught dealing cannabis, you cannot own a gun, which is a real crime and shame. If you have been treated for mental illness in the hospital or mental institution or psychiatric clinic, you are not allowed to own a fucking gun in this country. If you have a history of behavior that includes violence, you can't own a gun. If you were previously prohibited from owning a gun before, you can never own a gun in this country. In respect to an offense which is violent, if you've threatened anybody, any partner, anybody at any time with a weapon, even if you were intimate with that person, if you threaten a spouse with a weapon, you are not allowed to own a weapon in this country. And here's the best part. Point F, for any reason, for any other reason, poses a risk or harm to any person. There's a risk or harm assessment that's done when a robber comes into your house and he's stealing and you catch him. They think in Canada, that you should not be able to end someone's life for stealing from your house. And that is part of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That has been baked into us. It is why nobody up here has a gun. It is why we take this seriously. It is why we don't have mass shootings. And when we do, we circle the wagons and tighten loopholes. Because Canada is not a gun culture country.
No, it's
Joe
different.
Doesn't know that. As a matter of fact, let me replay him trying to figure out that of that at the start of the fucking
interview. He thinks
interview.
we're some sort of communist country because
people can't just shoot each other.
Rules around weapons.
Yeah.
Now, I play the clip again but I have something I want to add to the conversation.
I want you to, again, watch very carefully. This is a guy that gets $100 million to do this, not be prepared to do this.
Other than using firearms for sport shooting and hunting, there is no reason anyone in Canada should need guns in their everyday lives. We need less gun violence. This is about freedom. People should be free to go to the super. Okay, but this is not.
You know what happened?
I want you to watch. Hang on. I want you to watch him. His producer's like, hang on, I'll highlight the part you were supposed to read. And Joe's like, I can't read this.
Have the freedom to own handguns. A good number.
The main thing. The thing that he said that was egregious was he said that they don't have the right to own guns.
They don't.
Nobody does. Yeah, that's not even it either. There's an actual video of it.
You know what it is?
This is a little bit further longer ago when he was talking about they made a ban on the purchase of handguns, the transfer of handguns, the importing handguns.
Yeah,
you know what it is?
Go. He has no idea what he's fucking talking about. And he wants to bring it up as a subject.
It's more
fucking
than that,
wild.
though. He had somebody told him that Trudeau said something, and he's like, yeah, you can't believe it, but they quoted it. They probably misquoted it, and I'm not defending Trudeau. And then he went, what? You can't. I'm doing my whole show. We're having a gun guy in. Let's do a whole show on Wednesday on this. And then he gets them to find some of the supporting documentation from the videos.
Yeah,
right?
but you've done a radio show for how long? 30 years. Would you not read said supporting documentation and be bulletproof on the information you're going to put out before putting your dick on the table for people to look at?
I'm the wrong guy to ask because I make mistakes like that all the time on my radio show and on this podcast. So anyway.
So no, you wouldn't.
I have my head up my ass quite
I
often.
As long as no one told me what to do, I would do that.
So anyway, he's reading it and he realizes as he's saying it out loud that it kind of makes some sense. And then starts to go, oh, hold on. There was something way more egregious. That's the problem here. Here's the
Can we watch it again? I didn't even think of that. You fucking genius beauty, you. I didn't even think of that. Watch this. Let's watch that again.
He quickly read the line that Jamie was going to highlight and he goes, oh, that makes even more sense. Oh shit, we can't have that.
Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. Let's watch Joe Rogan, Lochlin with a fucking great gimme right there. He's like, hey, he read it and he was like, this actually sounds pretty good. And then he said, get me something worse.
Other than using firearms for sport shooting and hunting, there is no reason anyone in Canada should need guns in their everyday lives. We need less gun violence. This is about freedom. People should be free to go to the super. Okay, but this is not the main thing. The thing that he said that was egregious was he said that they don't have the right to own guns.
Because that next line makes sense too. While Trudeau doesn't believe law-abiding Canadians have the freedom to own handguns, a good number of Canadians themselves apparently have a different point of view. As soon as Trudeau announces the detention, Canadian gun shops experienced a rush to buy handguns, as reported by various news outlets. So that also is. Here's the thing that I think that people that are gun advocates that believe in your right or believe that you should have the right to own a gun to protect yourself if somebody came in to do you harm in your home, right? And that's largely that's what ends up being the discussion. If you're sitting around a dinner table with friends and family that have different viewpoints on this, and you're having a couple of glasses of wine, that will probably end up being the crux of the argument, right?
Yeah.
And if you're very, very liberal, you probably believe that, hey, listen, if we have no guns in the country and we don't allow anybody to buy any guns, there'll be less violence. Now, where I think that the argument can shift a little in the favor of somebody that's supporting gun rights is this. If you take away all the rights of legal gun owners, that people that are actually responsible gun owners, and they lock them up and they do all the right things, and you say, I don't care. We don't want any of those guns around, even if you're really a good, you've never had any problem and there's no gun violence in your community, but we're still taking those guns away because you shouldn't have them. Somebody who wants to do something awful with a gun may still be able to find that gun, and they still may be able to carry out whatever damage they wanted to do with that gun. So a lot of times that's where the argument stalls at the dinner table with friends and family that have different opinions about this, because they do have a point. I think this effort to remove guns from Canada, all guns, handguns, anything except guns that are used strictly for hunting, ultimately, does that get the guns out of the hands of the people that do bad things with guns? And I think there needs to be more of a conversation about how to do that. Unfortunately, we live on top of a country that has millions.
It's a constitutionally protected right to not only own a gun, but to be able, in a lot of cases, to carry it secretly in your belt.
But that's what triggers these fucking guys in Canada that are legal, responsible.
Well, because a lot of those guys too, totally, and a lot of those guys too they literally think. And if you ask them, I don't know if you remember Tamara Lish's boyfriend when he was in the stand trying to go, "Hey, my wife's okay. I eat one apple a day. I got no money. What am I doing here? I took a private jet. I'm crazy." You remember that?
Yeah.
And he was like, I think her First Amendment right was like totally fucked over. And they're like, dude, you're in Canada. You lived in Canada your whole life. There is no First Amendment right in Canada. Like, a lot of these people seem to think that they live in the United States and they would like to live in the United States, and the filtration of information that they've been getting from the United States, they've just assumed that everybody in Canada has the right to shoot some guy that's on their lawn stealing their fucking pinwheel.
You don't. You never have been able to.
You don't. You never have been able to. The charter says it. The Firearm Act of 95 says it.
You haven't been able to do that.
Forever. And it will always be like that. And so these guys literally, because they're not very bright, right? We've established that. They literally think that Canada should or has had the same rules that they've had in the United States when it comes to freedom being the most important thing, because that's the biggest difference between Canadians and Americans, right? If you talk to an American, the freedom to fuck their life up, the freedom to shoot or be shot if they want, is more important to them, and it's constitutionally protected, more important to them than anything else. In Canada,
shifting
for millennia, for generations, the most important thing to us is the collective safety to live in peace. And we've got rules and regulations that say, hey, you might think it's unfair, but you cannot take out a gun and shoot a guy for breaking into your house if you catch him. Can you beat the shit out of him with a bat? I guess. I mean, you're probably still going to get charged depending on how many times you hit him. But
gotta be careful. Like, if I beat
but you're going to get in trouble too. Because we want the police to be able to do that in this country, right?
That's what I was going to say. There, what our Constitution is saying. Listen, if you're in trouble, get the hell out of there and find somebody that can do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'd be more inclined to grab the golf club that's underneath my bed.
I've got a bat,
and tell the wife I got a 7-iron, and tell the wife, well, I'm swinging at the guy, to call the police.
Call the police. Yeah. Don't tell her after, because then you'll get in trouble, right?
Call 911, honey.
And when the cops get there and they're like, what'd you do? How many times you hit him? Say fucking 25, but can you put me down for a 5? Because I did hit him with the 7-iron. So credit for that. Here's where it gets weird. In my example of those guys that are Americanized, case in point, Cowboy Bob. There's a video that came across yesterday.
This guy's from Alberta, though.
Alberta. Boyle, Alberta.
That's right. I've heard about this guy.
His name is Ray Arnett. Found that out. Ray Arnett has been doing these TikTok videos about horses, about how much he hates Trudeau, and now he's got all the flair, right? He's got the fuck Trudeau hoodie, the fuck Trudeau coat. He's got the fuck Trudeau flags. And this gun stuff really bothers old Ray Arnett from Boyle, Alberta.
See, we have this in Canada.
Really bothers him.
That's why it's hard to have this conversation without saying,
this is that example.
There is this element of this in Canada. It's in the States, and I also don't think you can paint the entire United States with this brush either. I think most people in the United States of America realize that even if they've never in their entire lives been directly affected by gun violence, they're seeing it closing in on them. They have to.
They're passing some gun reform laws in the States, like literally. They're like, and they're tape jobs, but at least it's something, right? Like they're actually doing something.
People are begging for them to do anything to sort of quell the violence, right? And I think that's why I wanted to say that out loud, because I don't think that Joe Rogan or that mentality is a dominant mindset in the United States anymore. I think they've been seeing all this stuff for such a long time that it's worn on them, and they're realizing that maybe they don't have all the answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, arming the fucking teachers.
Not a great idea.
And the bus drivers.
And the school nurse.
If we just
school chaplain, give the school chaplain a 12 gauge, everything will be fine. Yeah. Anyway, this is Ray Arnett who give the chaplain an AR-15 and 500 rounds of ammo. He'll be fine. This is Ray Arnett. This is a video that he put up talking about those gun laws and what he plans on doing to everybody. There's a pitchfork. He's going to stick a bat in your ass and probably shoot you. Just letting you know ahead of time.
This guy.
Welcome to communist fucking Canada. I just listened to David Lametti, the Attorney General of Canada, tell the camera that he felt that Canadian citizens didn't have the legal right to own private property. Well, this is where you get to listen to me tell David Lametti, you pencil-nosed little prick, the Attorney General of Canada, go fuck yourself, you cunt of a man. How fucking dare you tell the Canadian people something like that? The hard-working people of this country, busting their backs doing fuck all. And then we gotta listen to your boss, Turd Boy, stand there and tell the fucking world that the Canadian people don't have the fucking legal right to defend ourselves with firearms.
You don't.
What we do have, we have the legal right to defend ourselves by way of equal force.
Ow.
That means you fucking come at me with a pitchfork, you leave this fucking world by way of pitchfork. You come at me with a bat, I fucking quickly remove that bat from your grasp and shove it up your fucking ass. And that also means if you come at me with fucking firearms, read between the fucking lines.
Oh!
Now to my friends down south of the border.
Here you go.
You do now have a communist country to the north of you, and that better worry the fuck out of you. Mark my words, at some point we're gonna do our best to try to fucking take our country back from these communist sons of bitches. We got no fucking choice. And when we step up and try it, we're certainly gonna need your help.
There you go.
I love each and every one of you. But there are no borders in this fucking fight, people. This is fucking good against evil. God bless each and every one of you. God bless Canada and the U.S.
I
Now-
hope he's not armed.
Let me say this. Hard to look like a stone cold redneck killer when you use a selfie stick. Real tough.
He doesn't like Trudeau, right?
No, I don't think so. I'm getting that.
Ah, shit. That guy's a fucking beauty.
Oh fuck! What a absolute fucking
Boyle. Eh?
redneck rock star. Fucking absolute uneducated backwoods cow pie fucking eating trail
Probably a
riding
sweetheart,
fucking
though,
lunatic.
right? Like he's probably. I mean, he's just putting on a show for the cameras. You know.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what kind of sweetheart Ray Arnett is. In February 2008, he was charged with causing an animal to continue to be in distress.
Seems out of
In
character.
2002, he was charged with unlawful possession of dead wildlife. In 2002, he was charged with guiding as an unlicensed hunter twice. And then knowingly making a false statement to obtain a license, failure to submit animal parts for inspection, providing a false statement in written form, unlawful possession of dead wildlife again, and then he got hit with another charge for guiding without a license in an outside area. So
Can you imagine being out in the bush with him?
dude, you'd have to sleep with one eye open all the time. You'd be like, this guy's going to fuck me in the ass or he's going to shoot me in the head. One of the two things is going to happen. I cannot fucking go to sleep. There's
bet
no
you
way
he's
I'm
wicked
sleeping.
on the barbecue, though.
This guy's going to stick a fucking bat in my ass and hit me with a pitchfork and shoot me between the eyes. There is no way I'm going to sleep around this campfire.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, and that was, that example that we're talking about of these Canadians that literally have been, by osmosis because they're too stupid to change the channel, or maybe they just think they're in the United States, or they feel some kind of weird conservative kinship with the other dumb people that are down in the United States that espouse dumb views, like you should be able to shoot someone in the head if they steal your mailbox, like that kind of stuff. We got that here too. Oh yeah.
Like you could see him, he would be on his quad chasing you down if you came into his yard.
Yeah.
Took a piece of corn or dug up one of his potatoes. You're a dead man.
Dude, I would not fuck with this guy. I would not hang out with this guy, but I would party with this guy for one night.
This is a guy that
hear his views. Like this guy is so poisoned and so fucked in the head that he's one of those guys where I'm like, hang on, sit down, explain what you believe to me, because this is going to be a fucking fantastic 3-hour journey,
dude. And I keep telling you, like, I think the fact that people don't like Trudeau, you guys in the East are aware of it, right? And there's a certain element of it in Ontario. We're
not fucking big fans either. We're just not
No,
lunatics who plan on
he's-
taking a noose to Ottawa and camping for a couple of months because we're
He's-
fucking normal.
He's definitely somebody that when you hear him speak, whether you're in tune with yourself or the world around you, it's fairly obvious to most functioning people that that man is not really being himself. Like you can just feel it. And that was the sense I had as soon as he started to become successful in politics. He's lying. He's not being true to himself. And then consequently I've never trusted him.
Pierre?
No, Justin
Oh,
Trudeau.
Justin. Oh,
But
sorry, I thought
the
you were talking about
level
Pierre.
of hatred,
Yeah.
in
It's next
this
level.
country, in this side of the country,
Yeah.
it is off the charts for that man. Like
Dude,
this
This guy spent hundreds of dollars decking out his shirt and his fucking fence with "fuck Trudeau" flags. This guy means it. He really hates Trudeau.
and everything that happens to him is Justin Trudeau's fault.
Oh yeah, dude.
Everything.
It's all
He
of it.
doesn't see. He's not self-aware enough to realize that he might be causing a lot of the problems in his own life.
Really? You think this video might have caused him some problems?
Welcome to communist fucking Canada. I just listened to David Lametti, the Attorney General of Canada, tell the camera that he felt that Canadian citizens didn't have the legal right
By the way, killer ascot.
to own private property. Well, this is where you get to listen to me tell David Lametti, you pencil-nosed little prick, the Attorney General of Canada, go fuck yourself, you cunt of a man. I'll fuck.
How do you get this worked up about the news? That's my question. I laugh about it all the time. You'll hear stuff on the news. You'll see, like, Bill C-11 passed yesterday or this morning, and I'm like, yeah, it makes me. You hope he's single.
I really do. For all
Dude.
mankind, I hope that there is not a woman in his life.
No.
Like, yeah. And if
But this is,
if there
dude.
is,
Back to my
please
point. This guy
get
literally
to medicine hat quickly.
for an STD test. Love the caption on it. Be prepared at all times.
How dare you tell the Canadian people something like that? The hard work.
What? Well, and what he's referring to is David Lametti was like, we should probably give some land back to the indigenous people who own this country at some point. That's what he's referring to. And this guy has a farm, and he's like, no, it's mine now. We're like, nah, it's probably not going to wash.
Well,
anyway, that's what he's pissed about. And then he goes on to the
Of
guns.
this country, busting their backs doing fuck all. And then we got to listen to your boss, Turd Boy, stand there and tell the fucking world that the Canadian people don't have the fucking legal right to defend ourselves with firearms. What we do have, we have the legal right to defend ourselves by way of equal force. That means you fucking come at me with a pitchfork, you leave this fucking world by way of pitchfork. You come at me with a bat, I fucking quickly remove that bat from your grasp and shove it up your fucking ass.
See, this is where the gun advocacy groups or anybody that supports that side of it,
Yeah.
they have a point. You're taking all the guns away, and I think we can leave Ronald out of the law-abiding side of the equation. But you take all the guns away from the people that own them, that feel that they need them to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe that. I've never been wired that way. I just don't think you need an AR-15 in your home. I'm sorry. I just don't think you need a handgun. I've always felt like that. Nothing has changed in my life. And I'm a conservative, right? I view myself as a conservative. Anyway, this guy has got a point in that if somebody comes to your house with a gun, if you are allowed to defend yourself with equal force, I don't have a gun. I'm not going to be able to fight back. You took the gun away from me.
How many times have you been? You turd of a man?
I know.
You
That's the point that I keep making to them.
turd boy. But how many times have you been broken into?
Gun?
Yeah. How
Never,
exactly?
Never.
Never.
I don't need
In
a
the
gun.
States,
You
it
don't
happens
need a
all the
gun.
fucking time, which is why a lot of those people need guns because they flooded the entire market with guns. And I get that. And their argument in the States is, what if the government turns on us? I kind of get that too, because in the United States, you just had a fucking legitimate asshole run your country for 4 years. And there's a whole big thing going on right now where everybody's like, oh, by the way, it was him, totally him. He tried to fucking take over the country. So very different set of circumstances, right? Here we don't have those problems because we've got real gun control, like real issues. And you know the amazing part, you know who he's going to vote for in the next election? You know who's courting his vote?
PP.
This guy right here. This guy whose shadow looks a lot like a cock and balls. Pierre Poilievre. This is who he's whipping up. This is who he's targeting. This is who he wants. And when guys like this put videos out and they make news, he says, well, that guy's angry. That guy should be pissed off. Do you remember who did that when January 6th happened? Where Donald Trump was like, of course they're mad. They stole the election from us. This guy's doing the same thing, but he wears a nicer suit. He's a little bit younger, and he's way more of a fucking loser than Donald Trump, which is really hard to say. But Dick Boy here is the object of Cowboy Bob's affection. And this is who they're going after, to the point where, I don't know if you saw this today, Justin Ling did a great little piece on Twitter where I don't know how he found the picture, but he did. The Religious Extremist Party of Canada, Conservatives, the Federal Religious Extremist Party of Canada, the Conservative Party. That's how I refer to them now, and I will refer to them as that from now on, by the way. Everybody else should. The Religious Extremist Party of Canada, the Conservatives.
They're not 100% there yet.
Hosted a, quote, Reclaiming Our Voice event today inside a House of Commons meeting room with James Topp, ex-Trump advisor James Alexander, and former Occupation Spock's Tom Marazzo. Sorry, Paul Alexander.
Yeah.
These guys were huge pieces of the convoy puzzle in the last thing. Mm-hmm. Now, before you go, well, that's okay, right? No, it's not okay. Justin actually watched it, and he kind of went over a few details. James Topp has been facing court-martial over video recorded in uniform endorsing the trucker convoy in Ottawa. Alexander has recently taken to saying public health officials should be prosecuted for their role in promoting vaccines. This happened in a government building today, and the Conservatives legitimized these fucking three absolute lunatics, religious extremist lunatics. And then Paul said, this is Paul Alexander, you can't carte blanche max vaccinate a population with vaccines where you've not done proper safety follow-up. This is a lie. Alexander tells MPs, adding that vaccinated people are getting more seriously ill and dying at a higher rate than an unvaccinated person. Again, fucking huge lie. Amid Alexander's anti-vaccine rant, Justin goes on to say, including tirades against all public health measures and PTR tests, it seems like multiple MPs got up and left. So there are some people that are MPs in the Religious Extremist Party of Canada who have heard enough at some point, it sounds like. Worth noting, his presence there shouldn't have been a surprise. He was listed on the event. It gets better. Mr. Alexander said, quote, when we close schools, many children, thousands of, this is literally in a conservative meeting with like actual politicians who believe this today in a government building. When we close schools, many children, thousands of children in America, this is what Mr. Alexander says, were sexually abused and they didn't capture them. And we didn't see it because the cafe latte laptop class were happy with the lockdowns, Alexander said. So he's saying that we locked down kids and they all got felt up, and that's everybody else's fault in America. That this is in a Canadian building. This is like more fucking disinformation, literal QAnon craziness that's being embraced by the Religious Extremist Party of Canada, formerly known as the Conservatives. Paul Alexander now says that masks are partly responsible for an uptick in violence and mass shootings. His evidence,
he had to
execution
get the mask thing in there.
He says his evidence was executioners have to be masked in order to execute someone. This is how crazy Paul Alexander is. He is legitimately a defrocked piece of shit, loser doctor who is out of work, and all he does is run around telling lies after lie after lie about the pandemic and the vaccine, and he has literally had an audience with the Religious Extremist Party of Canada, formerly known as the Conservatives. 5 members of Parliament stuck around for the whole speech, including Conservative Party leadership candidate Lochlin Lewis. Here's what that picture looks like. As you can see, 8 MPs, he said, posing for the photo with Topp and Alexander. So they legitimized, and this is the start of the convoy. So this was their kickoff, which they plan on fucking over the city of Ottawa on Canada Day, the Canada Day convoy, which is coming up to Ottawa. As of, I think today or tomorrow is when they're going to have a big kickoff pancake breakfast, and hopefully someone spikes it with some Viagra.
I thought at the beginning of this that, you know, when I first started hearing about her, that she was a relatively stable, sort of grounded candidate, but I guess not, eh? That Lesson Lewis.
Yeah. No, she's crazy as a fucking shithouse rat too.
She's swung over to the other side, eh?
Well, she's religious, right? Like she's born again religious zealot. All of these people are. Pretty much everybody in that room was going like, "Yeah, this is great. We love QAnon. We're fucked in the head. We love the Lord." These are literal fucking village idiots, and they're religious extremists. Every single one of them that was in that room, and they're planning this next trip. Like they're taking their cues from Dickhead, but they're planning this next convoy. With the help of Pierre Poilievre, who's a big fan of everybody photoshops a dick in a picture with them these days, don't they?
The funny thing about this was we had a conversation about the portrayal of the penis in a lot of these, and it's always the circumcised dick, never with the hood. That was a really good observation.
Yeah,
you always get the uncircumcised penis whenever anybody does something creative like this.
Even whenever someone photoshops a dick, that dick is always circumcised, and look at always veins, always nice tight balls, always.
That is
always
not
great
a realistic portrayal.
But yeah, you're right. I kind of feel bad for the uncut dudes. I really do, because
they're not getting equal representation in the meme world.
That's
they're
right.
Just not.
No, uncircumcised meme dicks never get the airtime they deserve ever. It's always the fucking cut dicks.
Somebody put a hooded dick in a meme of pee-pee for us, please.
It's probably more appropriate.
Yeah, and send us, tag us on Twitter.
Don't tag me. I don't want to see that. Tag Lochlin.
You got to be creative, though. It has to be a meme. Like, it's got to be good. Like, not just him standing next to a big unhooded cock.
Maybe him riding one.
Thought into it.
Maybe him riding one like he's a cowboy.
Yeah.
Maybe him surfing on one.
People are creative. I don't want to get in the way of the creative process. Don't ruin it. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a caption/meme contest, but it has to include, and it's got to include Pierre Poilievre.
Like the hooded old.
But it has to be an uncircumcised cock.
Uncircumcised. And maybe there's some way of tying in a PP and something he's done, or a picture of him, and making it make sense with the unhooded version of the penis. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. We'll leave it with you.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this today, bud. Appreciate it.
That was
good.
A
lot of fun.
That was
nice and tight. Rolled through a bunch of different stuff. I think we took care of the world's problems.
By the way, I do
explain how gun law works in Canada to Joe Rogan, in case anybody else wants to send that to him. Sorry,
and I think we had another reasonable conversation about guns in this country. And again, I think, as much as I do truly believe you do not need an AR, nobody will ever convince me that you need
a handgun,
an AR-15 or a handgun. If you hunt and you have a weapon, that's perfectly fine for me. And I've always been able to wrap my head around that. I come from a hunting family. I come from people that hunted. I come from a family that needed to hunt every year to put meat in the freezer, or we would not have had as much food as we did. Mm-hmm. That was just a reality. And I know a lot of people still live there. So that, to me, that makes sense, but you can't convince me. But I understand the argument on the other side. Here's one thing I want to leave everybody with. If you do listen in the St. Albert or Edmonton area, they now with Jason Kenney, who actually had a little war on photo radar in Alberta when he got elected, and actually put the communities and cities in this province to task about photo radar and the fact that it doesn't actually make the road safer. It's just a cash cow. And now with him stepping aside, they are back at it full time. I've gotten 2 tickets in the last 2 weeks that have shown up. Yeah.
2?
And they're fucking around in St. Albert. 1, if you get a ticket, fight that bastard. Fight it. I'm fighting both of these tickets. They're hiding these boxes, and they are not living up to their requirements to make it visible, right?
Hang on just a sec. Let's back up. So you've had 2 photo radar tickets. You haven't been pulled over. You just got sent these tickets in the mail. So there's 2 photo radar tickets for you. Now you sent this to us today. You took a picture of it. Warning,
they haven't had them out for a long time. They put the boxes away. They got these fucking boxes all over St. Albert. This is a $146 ticket.
Yeah.
And then this one showed up $170 ticket.
Okay.
And I was not like, I mean, obviously those are expensive. And, clearly they need more money to cut the lawns here in St. Albert. They're not cutting the fucking lawns. So they're charging me, right?
Okay. So let's back this up. You put out this tweet, City of Albert, saying St. Albert hiding their photo radar. Fight all your photo radar tickets. This is their setup on Ray Gibbons today, just off of Leclerc, catching all southbound traffic.
Just up from the Enjoy Center, the old holes, the holes.
Yeah. Is what I'm looking at is that box on the side of the road. That's photo radar, that green box that looks like a telephone box or like a cable exchange, that kind of thing.
And I'm driving north into St. Albert.
So you're driving and you took a picture. So you did something illegal just to get a picture of this.
I was stopped at a red light. There's a light there. Sorry. I was stopped. I was safe.
Okay. Good.
Now that's pointing south. That's catching southbound traffic. The reason why people aren't noticing it, and they're probably making a ton of money off of that box, is because that dick right there that's legally required to be around within a certain distance of that box. And not only that, they do it because if they left it unattended, people in Alberta would shoot it or drive over it. I have dreams about it. Okay. Right. I might even call Ronald to come up here from Boyle.
Ron Arnett.
Yeah, Ronald, if you're listening, come up. We'll go for a beer at the brew house, and then we'll have
Ron could take care of that with that bat that he pulled out of someone's ass or his pitchfork. Both of those things would work on that cable box.
You can't see that guy if you're coming south on Ray Gibbons, you can't see. One more thing. So fight your tickets. The other thing is we need to bring this back into practice. If you see these dicks out with this box and they're actually getting tickets and you're going the other way, warn everybody. I was flashing everybody like crazy. You flash your high beams.
You're taking care of the community. That's nice.
Yes. I am taking care of people. I'm trying to save them some money. I can't afford $300 of photo radar tickets every month. I can't. And I know most people can't. Especially right now, everything's more like it cost me $100 to fill up my fucking Subaru the other day. Like it's like this is criminal.
So can I ask you a couple questions about this? I agree. I think this is entrapment. I think photo radar is a joke.
Total entrapment.
Total. Okay, so let me back up. Again, how fast did they get you going?
I was doing 76 and a 60 for the 146 ticket.
Uh-huh.
And I was
A little cheap.
doing 69 and a 50 for the 170 ticket.
So 16 and 20 over.
Yeah.
20 over in a 60 is a lot. 15, 14 over isn't. Technically, you don't want to hear what I'm about to say. Technically.
If you tell me to slow down, I'm going to come through that screen.
I'm not.
I would never you out in front of everybody.
I would never tell you to slow down.
Then I'm going to find Ronald's bat.
I would never tell you to slow down. You do what you want.
That's what everyone was telling me this morning when I was bitching about it on my radio program. I had to turn the text line off because about 42 texts came in right away. I got an idea. Why don't you slow down? Fuck off.
Okay, so here's a question I have for you. Just a simple question. I'm not telling you what to do. Were you speeding?
I was speeding. Was I being unsafe? You think I was being unsafe?
I don't think you were being
regular speed of that road. Do you think I was driving a vehicle that was made in the last 10 years that has good tires?
Yes.
Do you think I have a vehicle that was unsafe for the roads at that speed? No.
Yes.
I do not. Do you think the speeds on those roads might be too low for the actual flow of the fucking traffic? Maybe that's a possibility.
Maybe. I don't know. I've said that 1,000 times. Like if you're driving along the 407 or the 401 here in the beautiful city of Toronto or the greater Toronto area, here's the great part, is that if you're not doing 120, you're actually going slow. And here's why. That is the flow of traffic. Speed of traffic flow here is a big deal. It's like 115, 120.
To go 100 or 90.
It is. If you're like doing 140, 130, then the cherries come out and people come after you. But it's like running around 115, 120. Generally speaking, and I have friends that work for York Region and and they're like, we don't go after guys going 10 or 15. It's the 20s and the 30s that we go after. The 40s for sure. The 50s are like, fuck, they get all excited. They're like, I get to chase this guy down and beat the shit out of him for fun. So, and I know it's not something you want to hear. And yes, it is entrapment. And yes, photo radar sucks major balls. And yes, is it a fucking cash grab? For sure.
Yeah.
You were speeding. Sorry.
I was speeding, but that's entrapment. And they actually have to live up to these rules now. These are rules and regulations that they have to abide by. They have to make it visible and obvious that they are there. Because why are they there?
To get money.
No, they are not. They are there to make the roads safer for everybody.
Is that what they're there for?
Yes. So if that's the intention.
Yeah. Did you see, dude, in the city of
they
Toronto?
Should let me know that they're there so that I don't get that $150 ticket. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. I understand what you're saying.
What you told me the goal was a photo radar was to make the road safer and slow people down.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a cash cow.
Dude, in Toronto, there was this fucking unbelievable article that was in BlogTO. They have cops literally standing at the side of the road giving bicyclists tickets for going too fast on their bikes.
Thank you for giving me my
That's how fucked the policing is in this country.
Entrapment.
Yeah,
Thank you for the word, because that's going to be the letter that I'm going to write to these pricks, tell them that I'm fighting the ticket. Because you have to respond by way of email if you're deciding not to pay it. The other thing too I want to do is I want everybody to fight them. That's my new strategy now. Fight them and just bottleneck the legal system.
Dude, give it
to
they're
going to be dicks. If they're going to be dicks and they're going to put tickets out like this, then I think that's the next strategy.
Do you guys have ex-copper in Edmonton?
No, I
in Calgary.
Similar to
use ex-copper. My friend Jay owns it. You know what I'll do is I'll hook you up with him and then he'll check it. He'll help you out. Because I think they have it in Alberta. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm going to fight. Because I'm probably going to get another 7 of them in the next week. Anyway, the other thing I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to put my hazards on when I drive, and I'm just going to go 40 wherever I go. Doesn't matter where. On the Hyundai, everywhere. Hazards and 40. You want to keep me safe? I'm trying to stop getting tickets. So 40 and hazards. That's what you're doing. And I think we should all start doing that. Just completely bottleneck this.
Also make the roads so prevent people from getting to work because you got 2 photo radar tickets for legitimately speeding.
Listen, I know it sounds juvenile.
Dude, it only took 2 photo radar tickets for you to turn into an anti-vax protester.
Ronald, I need some help with a camera box in St. Albert. Call me. Look me up, please.
It's your guy. Thanks for doing this, dude. Good luck with those tickets.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, fuck. At Lochlin Cross on Twitter is where you can find him. Give him a follow.
I'm not going to see you until Monday, dude.
Yeah, you're gone. You're done for the next couple of days. And we're off tomorrow. We're back on Friday. But tomorrow we're off. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. Too much work, too much business, so we won't be doing this. But we'll be back on Friday. Hopefully we'll have Dr. Mario Ali on to talk about monkeypox, because I think this is fucking hilarious. Like the whole monkeypox thing. I'm like, explain it to me. And then I want to get into masking. Should we be doing it? A bunch of people still dying, that kind of stuff. But it's not going to be a big deal. And then we're going to talk about, obviously, the best hockey player in the world, Auston Matthews, winning the Hart, and Ted Lindsay.
Check out the merch page on the Dean Blundell Show webpage, okay? Go to shop, and you'll find some cool merch there. We've got some new stuff coming for the Locker Room page, too, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, Schadenfreude, yeah.
Got the Schadenfreude shirt on today. It's Schadenfreude season. You can get this for $30 at DeanBlundell.com.
Good quality, eh? These
unbelievable.
Things are decent quality. Yeah.
Excellent Gildan t-shirts. Stretchable, breathable, lightweight. They're fucking really good quality. If you go to DeanBlundell.com, you can get this. You can get Fuck Pootler. You can get GFY. You can get stickers. You can get flags. You can get everything. But today's taste is the Schadenfreude season shirt, because there's nothing I love more than when bad things happen to terrible people. Thanks for doing this, dude. Appreciate it.
That was a good one today, man. Thank you. We'll talk to you on Monday, brother.
All right, bud. There you go. Lochlin Cross from 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. Listen to him every single weekday morning. He's the host of The Locker Room. That's it for us. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks to Mr. Arnett for joining us this morning.
And that also means if you come at me with fucking firearms, read between the fucking lines.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Mr. Arnett. That was a lot of fun. And thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks for joining us in the comment section. Can't get to it. Just so many wonderful people. Great support. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can get our podcast at deanblundell.com. You can also sign up for a newsletter there. We don't spam you with anything. We just send you their podcasts. And we've got about 100 of them in the network. So you can literally go through and pick the shit you like. And you go, I want that one. I don't want that one. I got this one. Sign up for a newsletter at deanblundell.com, and you can do all that. And thanks to our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Easy Auto Financial, helping you get in a car and getting you financing for that car, because it's tough to get financing. Everybody wants you to pay for it. They deal with all credit, too. These guys are awesome. Good people. So go to easyautofinancial.ca and sign up for your free financing, and they'll take care of all the details. Basically, turnkey buying a car. Try them out today. My friend Rob at Kivlaw, kivlaw.ca. If you're looking for a great criminal defense attorney, he's one of the best in the city of Toronto. He deals with impaired, sexual assault, white-collar crime, civil litigation, anything. If you want to get your life back, you need a great criminal defender. You can get legal help 24/7 from my friend Rob. He is incredible. Rob Kivlikin at kivlaw.ca. Check him out today. And, of course, last but not least, Ed's Fine Imports. His Gitch, we wear them, so can you. Boxer briefs, luxury pouch in the front. You'll dig them. Seriously, it'll be like the last pair of underwear you ever buy. You wear these and you go, I'm never buying another pair of underwear again. You know, when you walk in, guys fucking hate buying underwear, but you all know that you have your brand. We all do. And then when you get that brand, you're like, I gotta hang on to this brand because this feels weird. Not wearing the underwear that I know I like. You get the bunching and nothing. These things are perfect. Pouch, your stuff goes in the pouch in the front. Breathable, lightweight, great fabric. Go to edsfineimports.com, promo code GITCH, and then the number 3. When you check out, you're going to get a free pair of underwear. And when you leave them your email address, they'll give you another 15% off. Exclusive offers, great sales, edsfineimports.com. Check them out today. Hey, and thanks for joining us. Again, not here tomorrow. We are back on Friday. Friday? Yeah, Friday. It's 2 days from now. Too busy tomorrow. I'm busy. Too busy for a show. That's when you know it's busy. Have a great day. See you Friday. Bye.